today we are here with Yvonne, and we're going to be talking a little bit about what she does and why she was nominated for the Queen's Award. So introduce yourself, Yvonne, and what you do.
Hello, I'm Yvonne Street and I run Changes Tamworth. It's a franchise of Changes Health and Wellbeing in Stoke-on-Trent, who I used to work for 5 years before they lost the funding. I do all the same programs that I used to do, anger management, peer support groups, motivational groups, all the things, like I said, I used to do when I was working for Changes Health and Wellbeing. And it was we got the franchise and I just went as an independent charity doing it on my own. And in 2019, the Staffordshire Foundation gave us some funding and he bought out 2 months later the Lord Lieutenant of Staffordshire to meet me and Tony, because I work with Tony as well. And anyway, we never heard anything. And they said then that they wanted to nominate us for this Queen Award for the exceptional work we do. And then everything went quiet and we didn't hear nothing at all. And then in April of this year, I got an email from Buckingham Palace saying that the Queen had said that we were going to get this Queen's Award. So as you can imagine, we were so into secrecy, not allowed to tell anybody, which I didn't. And then on June the 2nd, she announced it to the London Gazette that she gave not just us, other charities as well, but there's only 200 all over the country, and that's in Wales and Ireland, and she's given us a Queen's Award. So it's just such an honour. Well, if it weren't for Dave Wheat and Jackie Williamson, who gave me a chance in the first place and had belief in me, I wouldn't even be here, would I really? Let's face facts. But his work, Dave Wheat's work, is exceptional of what he does. And it's a user-led service that gets people, a 12-step recovery program that gets people back on track with the mental health. And that's basically what we've been doing. And COVID's been quite annoying, hasn't it? Because we haven't been able to go into work, and we only have 2 rooms in our building that we haven't been able to work from. But I've still been contacting 60 people a week to touch base with them to make sure they're all right. So it isn't the job I normally do, but you can't just leave people out on a limb when they're suffering mental health, can you really? No. So, and that's what I'm still doing until we can get back into the building to be able to use it again.
There's a reason the work you do is so exceptional. It's because you are, Yvonne. So what is it that makes you so passionate about people and working in mental health?
I think the thing is, I've worked in mental health for 25 years in total now, which is a lot of my life. But when I started working for Dave Wheat at this time, I loved my job. And when we lost the funding, I was so upset. And I had a word with a lady called Jackie Williamson, thinking, would I be allowed to have a franchise? Because I think Dave Wheat's only allowed 3 people in 30 years to have a franchise. So I didn't know that I would be able to have one. And then, like I say, I owe a lot to them too, because they basically have the belief in me to be able to do it. So, and with Tony's help, we've just sort of carried on helping people. We do care. We've been poorly ourselves. I had postnatal depression years ago. My daughter's 43, my oldest one, when there was no such thing. Nobody ever believed there was anything. Tony suffers with clinical depression. So we do fully understand it because we've been poorly ourselves. So we can advise people of what we've done to try and get well. And the 12-step recovery program is the final thing to get people back on track, to learn to live with, not suffer from. And that's basically what we've done. And we were told by the Lord Lieutenant, because I did speak to him on June the 2nd when we'd been announced that we got this award, and he said the work was exceptional of what we're doing to try and get people back on track. And the Queen, she went down to the top. We were in the top 10, and then we were in the top 4 because she reads them all herself, which is even more, which I didn't realise, but he said, oh no, she reads them all herself. Well, with all the business with Prince Philip, you don't know, do you? But this was like months before she must have decided. So no, it's just a complete honour. I'm that proud for all my members. It isn't just about me, definitely not, and Tony. It's about the members, isn't it? That and we can finally put ourselves on the map, that people will understand what we are doing in Tamworth and the community around, that we're doing worthwhile work.
And are you actually going to meet the Queen then?
Pardon?
Are you actually going to meet the Queen?
Yes, next year we go to Buckingham Palace next May. We go there to a garden party. So yes, we're going to be presented to the Queen.
That is incredible. Are you excited?
Really excited. Really excited. I'm trying to forget it now, though, until next year comes.
Yeah, don't stress about it. So, will receiving this award make any difference to your service?
I'm hoping it'll let people, when we are applying for funding, give us a bit more chance to be able to get funding, because it's been so hard. Because for the first 2 years, unless you've been a recognised charity, you don't get funding. So we did have a terrible time trying to raise money, and I was doing market stores, doing another job as well at the refuge to try and have some money myself. So it has been very difficult. So I'm hoping the Queen's Award will recognise that she's got belief as also of what we do, and hopefully people will recognise that when they read our funding proposals.
Absolutely, yeah. And if someone so firstly, where is the area you cover, just for the viewers watching?
Well, we cover anywhere basically, because we haven't got any we're not statutory funded, so we can see anybody from anywhere, which we're very lucky. So Burton and surrounding areas, but we've seen people as far as Gloucester have come to us, Derby have come to us, so we can see anybody. So the doors are open to anybody, free non-referral, and they can just come to us.
Amazing. And what type of people or issues are you dealing with? So if someone's watching this thinking, is this a service for me? Is it not? Who's it for?
Well, it's for everybody that suffers from mental distress, but a lot of times over this COVID period, they've suffered with a lot of people being even more depressed and anxious. And basically, we've had to phone 999 numerous times. Like on a Saturday night at midnight, I was doing that for somebody that we've got a Facebook page where we've got 1,167 followers, so they can private message on Messenger. And this person that night, and I've only done it 3 days ago to somebody that was suicidal. So we do cover all: anxiety, depression, literally everything, schizophrenia, bipolar, border personality disorder, everything. And however, people have got to realise there's always somebody out there to talk to, which we all must do when we don't feel very well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll put all them details in the description box below on how to contact you. And with the pandemic, have you seen a massive change in people's mental health and people accessing your service?
I've definitely seen a massive change in people. How people have never suffered from anxiety, depression, have contacted us. I think there's about 34 people joined this COVID period. I know it don't sound a lot, but I don't know these people. I've never met them face to face. I've only ever had telephone contact with them. And at the end of the day, I know it's made a lot of people's mood very low because they're isolated, some people have got nobody, and they just wait for that phone call every week, or if they need me before, I'll speak to them. So it is basically, it's made a lot of difference to people with mental health during this COVID period. Loneliness, isolation, all of it, because there's nothing better than face to face speaking to somebody, because you can tell their emotions more so, can't you? So when you're handling people on the phone, it's completely different. You've got to be so careful every word you say to somebody, because on the other end of the phone, you don't know exactly the state they're in, do you? So it's definitely being careful how you're speaking to people, but definitely seeing a difference in how people are low. We can't, none of us can meet up, which hopefully in the next few weeks, we're going to be able to get back to normal. Yeah, fingers crossed. Yeah, fingers crossed.
And you put a lot of yourself into this service. And like you say, there has been times where you've struggled for funding, raising money, keeping it going. And hopefully this Queen's Award is going to, like you say, help the funding. Where do you see Changes Tamworth in 5 years' time? What's the dream?
Well, I just hope we continue to be successful like we have been. I know it's been a struggle, but if you start at the bottom, there's only one way up, isn't there? So that's the way I always think. It's not sort of just success for us. It's success for everybody, isn't it, that comes to us and can get back on track and get well again with the support and the help we can do with this 12-step recovery program. And it's having belief in that program and knowing that it works, because it's worked for me, and it can work for anybody.
Yeah, Absolutely. So if there is anybody watching this video right now who is struggling with their mental health, what would you like to say to them?
Just get in touch. You can get in touch with Changes Tamworth, our Facebook page, and private message me with your telephone number, and I'll give you a call back straight away.
Amazing. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to speak to everyone and to speak to me.
It's lovely to speak to you.
Same. And I hope we can catch up again soon. Thank you, Bonnie.